Hey, looks like we're live. Now let's just see if that's actually true. Because yesterday, yep, all right, yay. Good morning, and I can say that this time. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona, and you are watching this live on New Light Streaming Love. If you are seeing the recorded version, you are looking at it on Sassy or Sheila, because I will be uploading this to my other channel, my standalone channel, afterwards. So today is Sunday, April the 6th, 2025. And wow, it's already been quite the April for me personally. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but there's been a huge influx of energies in for me personally. I had a feeling yesterday when I okay, so there were quite a few of you that had, you know, expressed a desire to um, see the blueprint things that I offer. There's no charge for these things. It's just, so I'm almost live. More coffee. I feel you. I just made my second cup of the day myself. Um, Although mine's really almost not coffee anymore. It does have coffee in it, but I also add a lot of things to it. It becomes more like an energy um, medicine almost, because there's clove in there. There's cacao. I use honey. So it's kind of interesting. Some mornings I feel guided to put different things in it. At any rate, so over the last little bit here, now that, for the most part, at least here in my room slash studio, um, things are pretty much, I still have some things to hang on my wall, but I need some assistance with that. And, unfortunately, assistance is rather hard to come by. um, so I'm not sure when that's going to take place. But at any rate, I wanted to spend some time over the last several days to get that to get those who expressed interest, who I felt to share these what I call blueprint things. They're all things that are freely available on the internet. It's just things that over the years I've puzzle piece gathered for myself, right? To I don't know, to help me see me, to get an outside perspective, right? Through astrology, through gene keys, through human design, through the invisible garment, and all of these different things, right? So there were several of you that I felt inspired to do this for, and you guys have been waiting what seems like forever in my terminology. And I spent all day yesterday here working on that, and I suspected that there was something going on um, energetically, magnetically between the sun and the earth again. That tends to um, change. I want to be very careful about my own. It was pointed out to me by a viewer whom I know has codes for me, that our voice, mine in particular, um, carries powerful frequency. So I want to be very careful about the words that I'm choosing to use here. But I am also quite aware that when there is what could be termed a disturbance in the field, meaning that there's been some electromagnetic activity, whether that's been a coronal mass ejection or high solar wind. I found out several years ago that depending on what's going on with me and my field, it can affect me. And it also seems to affect not just my electronics, but everyone's electronics, not just computers, but all manner of electrical things, because it is part and parcel electromagnetics. And so, just silly things like I'm typing away and it can't keep up. Now, it's not that I'm such a fast typer that, which, I used to be once upon a time, but it's not that at all. And, I did find that there's been some activity over the last, well, more than a week, I guess. Oh, this one. Okay. And and I'm just now being shown where, you see, I'm not usually or haven't been what I would call a prolific dreamer. The CMEs have been hitting Jupiter very hard. Oh, good morning, Astro Gardens. Andrew, how are you? I'm so glad to see you here today. Yeah, so, just wanted to share that because my intention really was to do a live stream last night. Well, it's been my intention every night to do a live intuitive hangout session because I really miss those. I miss connecting with you guys, right? So do look for that. Oh, do look for that because it is coming. I was inspired this morning too, for the first time in a while, to pull out the divine animal oracle. So that's kind of interesting. We got, the orcas come out, and the key word is song lines. Oh my. Okay, so here I am speaking on frequency. That was the whole reason that I went there. So what's very interesting, okay, so wow, I'm being shown quite a bit here. In 2018, yes, in 2018, I had an experience with a numerologist. She was called the Empress of Time. I haven't seen or heard from her in forever. I don't know where she is or how she is or any of that. Not even really sure how to reach out and get in touch, but she said that she felt me to be a herald. Okay. This is what I mean by puzzle piece collecting, things being revealed, right? Move on down the line. I think it was either late 2018, early 2019. I had an experience with a very young autistic child. She was so exuberant. She actually knew that Lisa and I were twins. Her mother wanted to correct her when she was trying to call us twins, but Lisa and I knew because I actually had gotten the word twin in my head when I met Lisa. It was the first time I'd ever heard my own voice that loud about another person immediately when she grabbed my hands when we met in person. We'd already met through Zoom, but Of course, I didn't understand any of that at that point. Um, Energetically, she carries the same energy as my blood sister, right? Not a twin, but still. At any rate, this young girl, as we were leaving, and it was such a chance thing because we were in a laundromat of all places. Our dryer had broken and we had wet clothes that needed to be dried. So Lisa and I had loaded up stuff and went to the laundromat. And this young autistic girl was there. And she was quite intrigued with both of us and, hung out the entire time with us, just chatting us up. It was such a lovely experience. And as we went to leave, she wanted hugs. Of course, we both loved that and was happy to comply with her request. And as I was leaving, as I was hugging her, she whispered something in my ear. And at first, I thought she said, "You were born a hero." But it was after I left, I realized she said, "You were born a herald." Okay, so now I'm really floored. Oh, and this was on one of those energy days that, some will purport to be, right, to have. I think it was like the 1212 portal. Yep, because we were having a conscious, conscious cosmic creator is what we had called it, with BZ Rieger at that point. It was a whole bunch of people gathering in Zoom, and we were a little bit late for it because of the whole laundromat thing. But what a really cool experience, right? And, again, I'm taking all of this in as just a matter of puzzle piece collecting. And then it came to me too that, over the years, I've related this part before. My sister used to like it when I read to her as adults. And I was holding it in such a derogatory way. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking, oh, well, she's just lazy. She just wants me to read it. But I did it still and yet, right? Until I had an experience where, and you might have heard this before, Andrew, I was sharing the Oracle report with a group of ladies. Oh my, I'm very dizzy in this moment. I was sharing the Oracle report with a group of ladies every day. And I went away on vacation with my then husband. And but I was putting the Oracle report into our little group every day so that they could still read it. And when I came back from vacation, I said in the group, I said, "Oh, have y'all been keeping up with the Oracle report?" And one of the members said, "I don't understand it unless you're reading it. And I don't know why that is." Now, even at that point, it didn't register with me what was going on. But I'm telling you guys, all of these things that happened to me over a course of some time that allows me now to know that when I'm nudged to record and share anything, doesn't matter what it is, there's a reason. And it doesn't matter what that reason is either. I now just follow my nudges. I promised I would do that. And I cannot tell you what a difference that has made for me. Whether I believe these things or not, the truth of it is that it is apparently very helpful for some. And so I no longer question those things, question myself about those things. This just yesterday, my sister asked me about the whole Herald incident. And just this morning, another viewer with whom I know she carries codes for me. I've been trying to get her to come into Zoom and have a chat with me, but for whatever the reason, she just simply won't right now. And I don't even have to have it recorded or anything, but it must not be time, right? She sent me something this morning about the voice carries frequency. So there's something for me in the field about that. And now we have this song lines come up. Yes, I've seen that. I so would love to have another conscious conversation again with Laura. I know that I probably freaked her out. The one conversation we had, I was such a gushing fangirl because Laura Walker, and if y'all haven't heard of her, you haven't seen her work, I highly recommend that you go to oraclereport.com and take a listen, a look at her, because I got to be honest with you, she really was my entree into understanding energy and everything about how the field interconnects. And I don't know. I really can't even explain all of that. But that was, it's not me. Okay, well, we were set to have another conversation, and I know she got ill, but, I would love to have more conversations with Laura, because her work, her books, her insight into the energies and the astrology and everything that has to do with the Sabian symbols, I'm blown away by all of that. So if you would pass that along to her for me, Andrew, that this format, my little tiny channel that I know that I wanted to, I've reached out to many internet personalities. And I guess, because I don't have a very large following or whatever, some of them, not all, I know Laura was one of the first that came and had a conversation with me when Conscious Conversation Central was still very small. But at any rate, I would love to have more conversations, just for my own benefit, not much less how I know that her work permeates the field and really can do so much. So let's take a, well, and as I say these things, the surrender to divine timing came up. You see, I for a while, I really wanted to be all kind of offended and hurt because this one over here doesn't want, and speaking about the thing with the viewer I'm talking about, right? I want to be offended and hurt because I feel the oomph to do it now and so doesn't, right? It could be that they are feeling that divine timing where I am feeling a push. You see what I mean? Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Wow. I told y'all I was feeling dizzy before. I just, another wave of, okay, like dizziness or euphoria just washed right in. Okay, interesting. And we got the Singer of Courage came out from the fairies. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful reading this morning. have this feeling based on everything that I've experienced and what's coming into my field, that there's been a big shift. I mean, I think part of this, for me personally, is Neptune's ingress into Aries. And I think, Andrew, I think you, I think, and I'm not sure, but whenever you're ready to do the accidental astrologer again, I would so love for you and I to get together and you to take a look at some things for me. I love using myself as a example to show things, to folks. Okay, so wow, where to begin? I think we're going to start with the Orca song lines, the animal oracle here, because well, for several reasons. I know for a fact that my voice activates my own self, right? We'll definitely do. I pulled your chart for the new year and wanted to start there. Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, thank you, my love. Oh, okay, sweetheart. No worries. You be well, Andrew, and let me know whenever you're ready, because I will make time for you on your schedule. As I know, let me just tell y'all, that is one hardworking fella right there. He's got a large family that he takes care of. And my hat is so off to Andrew. He's also administrator of the Oracle Report Facebook group. He does an awful lot, and so I'm so grateful for you, dear. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Mark. I sure will, if you'd like for me to do that. Well, that's what I'm saying. I really, Andrew is in such high demand. He is. It's tough. It's been tough for us to nail down a time to have a conversation, much less recordings. So I absolutely will, Mark. Okay, so this microphone hanging right here is really throwing me off. I am not going to lie. So if I hit it, I'm sorry, guys. So Orca, song lines is the key word there. You are walking in the bloodlines of your ancestors, but you are an individual who makes your own destiny. Seek better communications with family. Nourish, well, that's kind of interesting. Today is the first Sunday of the month, and I hold a first Sunday fam fest is what I call it. On the first Sunday of every month, I open up my Zoom room, and any family members that are scattered throughout the U.S. See, my father's side of the family, we don't know each other. We didn't grow up together. We don't, my father's gone now. And so that's kind of interesting that that's coming up today, because today is the day. Seek better communication with family, nourish yourself, and exercise extreme self-care. Share your skill with others. And again, that means my voice in some way, because I cannot unsee the fact that my sister asked about the Harold incident yesterday, and I had a viewer send me a video this morning speaking about how the voice carries frequency that activates. So, what all am I being told? The mythos. In Inuit mythos, Sedna was a beautiful maiden who refused marriages arranged by her father, instead preferring to commune with nature. Her father had had enough of this disobedience and married her off to the very next hunter who came along, a man who offered much fish to the family. Knowing his daughter would resist, Sedna's father gave her a sleeping potion to drink, and she awoke far from home in the company of her new husband. The trouble was, this man was not a man at all, but a great petrel, Petrel, spirit bird that had disguised his true form. Sedna found herself sitting in a giant nest, surrounded by thousands of screeching birds with no way home. She cried out so loudly in fear and anger that her father heard her. He sailed his canoe over the vast icy sea to rescue her from the nest. Sedna and her father were pecked by angry birds as they began to paddle away, and the spirit bird whipped up a fierce storm that threatened to capsize their small vessel. In his fear, Sedna's father pushed her overboard, hoping this would placate the bird husband and save his own life. Sedna managed to grasp the side of the canoe to stop herself from sinking, but in his panic, her father cut off her fingers and she sank, wow, to the underworld of the ocean. There she grew a fish's tail and became the mistress of all. Her cut fingers transformed into beautiful sea mammals such as seals and whales, which are integral to the survival of all Inuit. Her guardians, the orcas, were her messengers and told of her to others. Sedna grants hunters upon the ocean a successful hunt, without which they would be in extreme hardship and die. She provides nourishment in this unforgiving environment if a hunt is unsuccessful. After all, there are no rich pastures or supermarkets to fall back on in the Arctic. Sedna is seen in her shadow aspect as vengeful, so hunters give gifts and songs to her as they set out on their boats. In Sedna's myths, good stewardship of the ocean's finite resources is necessary, and taboos are upheld to underline this, a lesson we could do well to maintain. The orca is an iconic sea creature that has fired our human imagination for millennia. Written about by the ancient Greeks and Romans, the orca is part of the mythos and spirituality of a number of cultures. Siberian, Pacific Northwest, and Newfoundland indigenous peoples all depict the orca as being integral to their spiritual beliefs and art. They honor the killer whale, especially in family or clan worship, and it is still part of their culture today. Orcas look very distinctive. Their black and white skin is immediately recognizable. Their 50 interlocking, inward-leaning teeth are perfectly designed for both hunting and echolocation, and it's estimated that a fully grown orca will consume about 200 kilograms of food per day. They are highly effective hunters, thus the term killer whale, and they hunt in highly organized pods. While these members of the dolphin family are incredible physically, it is what scientists are just beginning to learn about their culture that is so interesting. Orcas live in matrial lineages, meaning they stay in matriarchal lines. Great grandmothers, grandmothers, mothers, and daughters, all with calves, travel in one very stable matriline that is usually around 5 generations deep. And okay, that's a real synchronicity because As of 1998, my matral line, well, she was my mother's father's mother. My great grandmother, there was 5 generations alive in my family. Well, but that was actually considered my mother's line. Very interesting. A number of matral lines may make up a pod that comes and goes freely. All members of the pod use the same set of sounds and songs. It is their own dialect. This language is an important part of the bonding of these families and in finding each other in difficult conditions. Now, those of you that have been following me for a while may realize or may remember that I speak on the fact that I feel as though each one of us speak our own language based on our understanding of words. I speak English, yes, true enough, but I speak Sheila English, and the way I speak is completely different from the way others speak. That's been my observation, because others will say something using the exact same words I'm using, but it means something totally different to them than it does to me. And I personally feel as though we see that quite a bit on the world stage right now in varying and different ways. And as soon as the entire population really sort of gets that, it's going to make things a whole lot easier, I think. Wow. The final grouping is a number of pods coming together in what scientists call a, quote, clan. When clans come together loosely, it is called a community. While clan, well, I was just speaking to a viewer about community last night, how I know that eventually that is how well, I'm living in community now. It's a very small community, and we at least, have a little bit more room now that we've moved into this house. But the larger picture is a larger community. The download I received in 2017 showed that. So very interesting. This is all about that as well. While clans share similar language and ancestry, communities don't share language, but do share territories. For all their savage reputation, there has never been a fatal attack by an orca in the wild. In fact, the only recorded fatalities have occurred with captive orcas, and it is not known whether these deaths were accidental or deliberate attempts by the whales to cause harm. Wild orcas have actually been recorded as being very friendly and cooperative with humans, assisting them to hunt. The magic. The orca magic can be raised by singing your own song by the sea. It is a feminine magic that can be used to help heal breaches in family relationships. Okay, that's a very interesting thing right there for me. Orca magic is also one that asks for self-care and nourishment. If you are feeling weak in your physical body or mind, especially with issues of vitality or endurance, the power of the orca can be called upon as an ally. Given what's been happening in this household with myself and with Lisa, that's an important message right there. The symbology, woman underwater with a fish's tail. My sister has sent me that meme twice in the last few days. I'm telling you, my sister is so psychic. It's sometimes scary. I think we all are. We just don't know that we are, or we wouldn't classify it as that because of what TV and radio and books and all has always depicted it. I think it's way more than what we've been led to believe. Holy my goodness. Um, so woman with a spirit bird, woman and orca, black curved dorsal fin, and their status is endangered. Wow. Okay, so it's not lost on me that I hadn't been feeling to pull this, and all of a sudden, almost as an afterthought, this morning, I felt to pull this. Okay, let me see. ETA noon. Okay, that's good. I have a friend coming to visit today, and I did tell her I was doing a live, but I wanted to make sure that I understood when she was coming. All right. Yay. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know, but today feels very, very different than yesterday. And I feel totally energized and different. Wow. Okay. So who wants to go next? I think the singer of courage, the fairies. The singers are in the hierarchy of the fairies. To me, they feel like the major arcana of the tarot. But more than that, I don't know how to explain it. And that could be because of my own connection to the fairies slash realm of the elemental, which to me are not one and the same, but there's a similarity, or that's not quite even the right word, but they feel, yeah, they feel similar, and yet both different at the same time. So the singer of courage, card number 8, which this one was card number 30, meaning it's a 3, the Trinity. Threes are huge for me and always have been. 33 is part of my numerology, somewhere in my numerology. I don't quite understand all of that, but I know that threes tend to surround me quite a bit. The 8 for me is all about not just manifestation, but materialization as well. And the key words for this card are bravery, sublimation of fear, moral strength. Someone once said that courage is not the absence of fear, but that which enables us to experience fear and not be stopped by it. That's so true. There's a difference for me of being frightened and moving over into full-blown fear. Because I've had experiences that scared what I felt like was the life out of me. But rather than move over into full-blown fear, I just continued to project love, acceptance, and all of that, and keep myself calm. So I don't know if that's really making sense to anyone, but I know it certainly made sense to me in the moment. So someone once said that courage is not the absence of fear, but that which enables us to experience fear and not be stopped by it. It is also what enables us to do what we believe to be right, even when there is pressure from others around us to do otherwise. It is what enables us to go ahead into the unknown or the perilous, where there are no guarantees of safety or security. Well, I keep being shown that safety and security that's all BS anyway. Uh, because we are exactly where we need to be in every moment. I'm convinced of that now. I would never have agreed to that statement in my youth because I had been convinced by others that I'd been making mistakes and I put myself in danger and all these sorts of things. But I'm still here, and I keep being shown over and over and over for myself that no matter what I might label a situation in the moment, the universe says, but did you die? And the answer so far is no. And even if, at this point for me, even if that would be a yes, well, I'm being asked to surrender to divine timing because death is nothing other than I have no idea what it is for sure. All I know is what I've been told. I mean, they claim I died on the table once in a surgery. I have no uh, memory of it that I brought back. So that's really all I have to go on, and what anybody else might say about it. So, in our lives, we are often, even constantly, confronted with a new world, a new way of being in the world, a new way of seeing, and of being seen. Ordinary lives take courage, and to rise above the ordinary into the extraordinary takes even more courage. One of the keys to courage is to consider the fear and find a way to let the energy of the fear itself power the action. That is true courage. And that really goes hand in hand for me in looking at one's shadows, because then that shadow also becomes a power, a superpower in many ways. At least that's what I'm being shown for myself. Often people think of courage as being part of high heroism. It is, but it also has its quiet hidden side as well. And that may require greater courage because we cannot expect the rewards of praise and approval for it. For example, no courage is needed to be unhappy and self pitying. Boy, ain't that the truth. Sit around in one's victimhood takes no courage whatsoever. Ask me how I know. We do not need to be self disciplined or wise for that. However, to open our hearts to the risks and vulnerability of joy and trust requires all of those things, especially courage. Within each of us, there is the terrified inner mouse, and there is the brave inner hero as well. Either part of us can take over from the other. We get to choose which is in charge. The mouse is a magician with only one trick. It can cast an illusion that it is as big as an elephant. Then fear nearly overwhelms us. But we still have a choice. Learning to live with and manage the reactive animal within involves transforming emotions like rage and fear into courage through self-discipline and the help of the singer of courage. Wow. Most people have decided by the age of 3 or 4 what they must do in order to survive. That could be true. From this decision, this belief about how the world is, most of our fears and self limitations grow. Have we the courage to discover and break through these limiting beliefs, awaken to greater possibilities, and go for our objectives? That is the hero's journey, if you ask me, which is where what I've been working through over these last 7, 8 years, finding out who the hell am I anyway? And what do I want? What do I like? What don't I like? What is the truth of me? Right? And I think that's what that's speaking to. We need to transcend our fears and accept the gift of courage. I would agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Absolutely. Because no matter what we might think we see or we are experiencing, nothing is what it appears. Nothing is as it seems. And I can sit in a little victim perspective and say, oh, well, this and that and the other is being done to me. Or I can see where all of it is happening for me to help show me something. That's kind of our choice. Mark said, I died in 1943 off the coast of France. The soul continues. Well, it's quite lovely that you have that information. For whatever the reason, partly because I guess I haven't been nudged to really dig into it, I haven't been shown much about that part of me. I get snippets, partly I think because of I keep being shown that everything, everywhere, all at once is a very real thing. It's more concurrent. We tend to view it as past because of our current perspective. I have a huge feeling that that's part of the human psyche, that's really the only way to process it in many ways. Okay, so who's next now? I think the Sky, Wind, Earth wants to come out, the Alchemy Elementals. Boy, that's such a pretty card. Sky, Wind, Earth. Card number 64. No, it's card number 48, but it's on page 64. Okay. Isn't that a card of transformation and frequency? Boy, oh boy. As a quantum creator, you are manifesting your life in every moment with everything you allow into your consciousness, as well as everything you put back out into the field. Well, here we go, talking about the voice and the frequency again, too, right? If you want to live a life of joy, beauty, inspiration, and abundance, then it's up to you to allow only things that are joyful, beautiful, inspirational, and abundant into your consciousness. Couldn't agree more. To turn your attention toward the things that inspire you and that make you feel alive. Do not waste your time on dreary media or negative conversations that bring you down. Hence my desire for conscious conversation at every turn, may I just say. I'm done looking into the why is this being done out there. I know why. It's to wake those who haven't woken yet to the truth of who they are. I'd keep my toe in every now and again, but I got it. I understand now that nothing is what it seems. Nothing. It is your responsibility to protect the sanctity of your mind and to make sure that you are feeding it with beautiful things. Remember, what you put in your ears always goes into your heart. So keep your ears clean. and listen only to beauty and greatness. Wow. You know, I had a conversation early on because I was concerned about my son. You know, and things that he was feeding his mind, the frequency of some of that, right? And while it's not for me, I cannot judge that it's not right for him. And that's sort of what that sounds like. Only when folks are ready. And I have no clue when another being is ready for something. Each's psyche is just that, their psyche. And I sure as shit don't want to be responsible for ripping somebody's psyche into two. Those of us who get all carried away and arms up and down about because people are doing this and people are doing that and they can't see they're being lied to and all of that. Trust me, I was there. I was screaming that from can't you see? Aren't you? How can you not see? You can't see what you can't see. You can't take in what you're not ready to take in. And I now get that on such a huge level that I no longer say you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that. I can only say what works for me. I personally feel like this is a true statement because I know what I need to be listening to and doing for me. So of course I think it's true. Of course this is what I believe. But I haven't the right to put that on anybody else. And none of us do, in my view. It's not for you or me to decide what so-and-so down the street is ready to hear. Only so-and-so down the street knows what they're ready to hear and what they're not. I can offer my opinion, hence the YouTube channel. But trust me, because I used to try to tell people stuff and nope, that's not for me to do. It's not my place. It isn't the divine timing that they are in, right? So, you know, if you're out there holding the thought that so and so down the street really has to get this concept, let me just say, no, they don't. They will when they're ready, and they may never be ready. And it ain't for you to say because it isn't holding anything else up. It's really not. I know a lot of folks used to say, well, everybody has to agree to this before we can. No, they don't. No, one does not forgo the other. We don't have to wait for X number of folks to get it. No, we don't. No. I think for me, I think that's a misnomer. It's just another way to sit in the victimhood of y'all are holding us up. No, they're not. Ain't nobody holding me up from nothing. You know, I mean, that's the way I feel about it anyway. Oh, Mark said I relived it. Not fun. I'm so sorry, Mark. I do know, having conducted beyond quantum healing sessions, as I am a beyond quantum healing practitioner, that can be not fun for folks. So, okay, so this one is man of the earth, woman of the sky. And I would just like to point out that this is also a 3 numerologically, and the book opened right to the page. So I don't know what that means. Oh, David Pierce. Oh, my Lord, honey, I'm so glad to see you. Happy Sunday. All this orca frequency and sound talk called me, and I'm so glad. You know, there's lots and lots of stuff we have yet to do together too. Especially you and Crystal Hemphill. I still hold that there's something there. I'm not sure what. Again, I'm not sure what, but there's something. And yeah, I would love to see that happen. David is a viewer, but also a friend, and we've spent time together. I'm so glad to see you here, my love. So, I see myself in you, and you in me. We may seem to be so different, and sometimes yet so similar. Even beyond this, I know deep within me that we are one. I do truly believe that too. I can lose myself in your light and receive your light with my body. I can witness the darkness of your shadow and enter into it with my compassion. I can find the divine in our connection, letting go of what I thought I was. I can be broken apart to become as one with you, even if only for a second, and know the divine more intimately than ever before. Our passion leads us to each other, and in each other we find our true selves. And David, this is coming up hugely for me in this moment. Maybe that's what you need, is a BQH session. Hit me up if that sounds good to you and something you want to do. I'm happy to facilitate that for you. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You are being opened up to sacred relationship, either in your current relationship or one that is on its way to you now in human relationship and in divine relationship with the heavenly beloved. Personally, I think for me, that's the only relationship that I am actively seeking, is relationship with me. I don't know enough about me yet. And I personally, having been in plenty of relationships in my life, I can see very clearly why they didn't work. If I don't know who the hell I am, how the hell is anybody else supposed to know who the hell I am? Dun, 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 and then we wonder why shit don't work out. Hello, anybody in there? This is what I've asked myself a couple of times since then, right? I mean, honestly, was I even thinking? No. The answer to that is absolutely not. Boy, I'm so glad I checked that. I did not get the page right. There we go. No, you are worthy of. Wait a minute. I'm going to back that up. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You are being opened to sacred relationship, either in your current relationship or one that is on its way to you now, in human relationship and in divine relationship with the heavenly beloved. Know that you are worthy of it, and keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it is dark, when it challenges you, there is sacredness unfolding. The love of the divine wants to reach us not only in our happiness, but also, perhaps more so, in our darkest hour. Let it reach for you through your relatedness with another, and do not be afraid to be broken and opened. For in that cracking of what you thought you were, wow, I just want to bawl here. You shall begin to know what you are, which is heaven on earth. And I cannot stress this enough. I now see for my own self how my desire for relationship with other really actually was my soul's desire for relationship with me. That's actually what it is. It's not because I think if I could just have a relationship with somebody because they gonna help fix me. Oh, trust me, that is not the case. At least it sure hasn't ever been for me. So I love this right here. Do not be afraid to be broken and opened, for in that cracking of what you thought you were, you shall begin to know what you are, which is heaven on earth. How rare to be born with a name of love. What challenges await that I must face, or voice to listen to from above, telling what I must embrace. Each day I walk a path unknown, with no regrets for where I've been. Each experience is mine to own. No choices call to live again. How strong I am, I ask myself. The measured test unfolds each day, a blessing of enormous wealth. Inside the gift will always lay. Wow, what a powerful reading today for me. And now I know we've had this card, this last card. I know we've had this in just the last week because I recognize the card. Number 40, stand up and be recognized. Behold, you are the inspiration you've been looking for. This is from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. A quote from Henry David Thoreau. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. That's really interesting. One of the things that I want to go up on that wall back there is say, live the life you've imagined. Wow. The message of this card, in the dance of life, sometimes you move toward your purpose. Sometimes you move away. And when the stars align, you receive your reward. Outward recognition of an inward quest can be a jubilant affair, and yet it can be its own challenge. If you've been focusing on the essence of the quest itself for its own sake, not for the applause, ask yourself what you shall do with your ego during this time of recognition. There is nothing wrong with your ego getting a pat on the back because it has come through this journey too, as a passenger, not a driver. And I've said that many times on this channel. I actually feel as though Smarmy is starting to really get the message that being a passenger ain't such a bad thing. Not allowing Smarmy to drive the bus is actually because I've been going to some pretty cool places allowing the soul to drive. Now, that doesn't mean that Smarmy don't jump over there in the driver's seat and just grab the wheel sometimes, and I haven't even really realized it. I have to jump in sometimes and say, hey, hang on a second. But yeah, no, I love this. Recognition is code for resonance. It says that what you stand for rings a bell in people's hearts and inspires them. The best part of this privilege is in being an inspiration for others to either join your quest or to reach deep within themselves and find their own raison d'etre. Hey, wait a minute. I have to tell her. Hold on, y'all. Live now. Somebody's trying to call me. See you soon. I love it when real life, physical life interrupts whatever else I got going on, right? Okay, so there is a dream symbol for this of award. Dreams of an award or reward speak to your feelings of self worth. Congratulations. This milestone is celebrating the great strides you have made. Take a deep breath, acknowledge this breakthrough, relish in your value, and allow it to nurture you into an even fuller reason for recognition the next time around. The mantra here is I am a powerful giver and receiver of recognition. Well, yes, I'll own that. Because of what I know my voice does, I'll own that for myself and for others. Right? Because trust me, I'm first to uh, activate myself, and just if it's been helpful for others, so much the better. Wow, this is such a powerful reading today. Well, I hope this was helpful for you if you were here live or if you find this later. And I will say again, it is live right now on New Light Streaming Love. I will be uploading this recording to Sassy C or Sheila. So when you see it, it's not live over there. It's just a recording. Wow. I know that there's something being trying to come in for me personally in regards to especially my toning of things. I am aware that is part and parcel the reason why the books that are on this channel in the show, not show more, in playlists, that is why I was nudged to put them there. And if you feel drawn to any of those, do yourself a favor, take a listen, because maybe there's something there for you. Most specifically, the Jeshua channelings. David said there's been major, quote, bringing back and ringing of the bells synchronicities in the past few months. You know what's so interesting to me that you say that is just last night I saw something in the Rings of Power that had bells in it. And I thought that very same thing. So you see, synchronicities abound in these moments of now. And that too is all about frequency and resonance. And so again, if you were drawn to this, if you're drawn to me, there's a reason for it. Don't hold yourself back. If you feel to reach out to me, do it, because there's a reason. And if I feel the same way, don't think for a second that I won't make time for you, because I will. Those who are here right now know that about me. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. And It really is just a matter of perspective and your perception of your perspective in the moment. And what I mean by that is we can choose to sit in a spot of victimhood, or we can sit in a spot of empowerment. It is all a choice. So I love you guys so much. Until we meet again, mwah, be well.